I think a lot of people underestimate just how important philosophy is. And Breach actually talked about that in his video. I don't know if you guys follow the news. I'm sure there's a lot of you that do follow the news. Breach didn't get access to the alpha. Breach then said in his stream he was a little bit fucking hurt that he didn't get alpha access. And then Blizzard finally gave him alpha access. But Blizzard also met with him. So there was an actual meeting and Breach was able to talk to the people at Blizzard. And even Breach said this, right? There's a philosophical change in the way that Blizzard is approaching World of Warcraft that's the thing that people should be focused on. So whenever people say, oh my god, it's so copium, Blizzard always promised that they're going to do things differently and then they never fucking listen. What you're not keeping in mind is the philosophical change, which is the thing that you should get excited for. You shouldn't be excited for individual changes. Legion was a good expansion. Let me see a show of hands. Who here enjoyed Legion? Who in chat thought that Legion was a really, really cool expansion? A lot of people. All right. Well, what if I were to tell you that everything that made BFA and Shadowlands shit was in Legion? Legion is the reason that BFA and Shadowlands was as shit as it was. Because it's true. Legion was the first time that Blizzard tried this borrowed power thing. The only thing that saved Legion was the fact that the borrowed power was actually fucking interesting. Artifact weapons was new, it was shiny, people loved it. One of the things people loved about the artifact weapons, and this is why I believe Legion was actually as good as it was, people didn't think that the artifact weapons were going to go away. I remember seeing the posts everywhere and the YouTube videos everywhere where people were talking about what Blizzard could potentially do with the artifact weapons moving forward. Because remember, up until that point, whenever a system was introduced into World of Warcraft, that system was now forever, right? That would be a system that is now just part of our lives. Legion was the first time that a system was created that was meant to be only for that expansion. Here is the big problem. In order to make that system, Blizzard basically took half of World of Draenor. They stopped working on World of Draenor, moved most of their developers over to Legion, and they basically took extra time in order to make sure that that system worked, because it was brand new and shiny and they were really going to go out of their way to make this work. For BFA, they couldn't do that because Legion was going well, so everyone was hands on deck trying to deliver content to Legion. BFA couldn't have the same level of personal system or borrowed power system. So the system we got in BFA was terrible. No one was excited for Azerite powers. Like, Azerite armor was just a complete failure from start to finish. Not a single one of the Azerite traits were interesting. People didn't quite fucking understand why the neck is the thing that you level up, but then the armors are the thing where you get the sort of perks. It would have been better if the neck was also the thing where you got the perks. Shadowlands, same thing. A watered down version of artifact weapons, and because it's watered down, people aren't as excited for it, which means it fails. But Legion, for all intents and purposes, should have failed as well. It was literally saved because its borrow power system worked. That was a philosophical change from Blizzard, and that philosophy that Blizzard had is the reason that BFA and Shadowlands failed fundamentally. It's that philosophy from Blizzard. The borrowed power system, the idea that an expansion can exist on its own and every expansion can be its own little thing. It clearly failed. BFA was miserable, Shadowlands was miserable, and now we're going to Dragonflight, and Blizzard have completely changed their philosophy. They've gone back to the idea of, wait, what if we make systems that is just now part of the game, and they exist forever, or at least for multiple expansions? That is why you can get excited for World of Warcraft and not have it be copium. Because I'm not getting excited for Dragonflight. I'm not getting excited for the talent trees. I'm getting excited because the philosophy works. How do I know it works? Because it worked for Vanilla. It worked for TBC. It worked for Wrath. It worked for Kata. It worked for Mist of Pandaria. And it did not work for World of Draenor, but let's be real, Blizzard kind of gave up on World of Draenor. before it could actually really shine through. And I realized there's going to be people that go, oh my god, Kata sucked. Fuck you. I enjoyed Cataclysm. I thought Cataclysm was perfectly fine. It wasn't as good as Wrath of the Lich King. It wasn't as good as Mist of Pandaria, but it was good. I think Cataclysm quite often suffers from people just being at a high in in Wrath of the Lich King. And, Kata was never going to live up to the hype of killing Arthas, of being in Northrend. It was never going to live up to that. But overall, I thought the dungeons were really cool in Cataclysm. I thought the raids were really cool. But it was the philosophy that made it successful. So I believe that this is what we might see again with Dragonflight. I'm looking forward to it because it may actually be the first time in a really long time that people are once again hyped for World of Warcraft. And I don't mean people being addicted to World of Warcraft, I mean genuine hype. When's the last time people were actually just hyped, where all of us could be excited for what the game has to offer? That's a magical fucking feeling, and I don't care whether you hate the game or love the game. It is magical when there's like all of your friends and all the people in trade chat and everyone is just in love with the game at the same time. I want that. I want that back. So yes, I'm excited to see what this philosophy can ultimately mean. That is every time. Jay-Z, it's not every time because the sheer... Okay, so anyone that sort of goes, Shadowlands was fine, BFA was fine, are not paying attention to the truth. Blizzard would not have given up their borrowed power systems. Blizzard would not have gone above and beyond to fix the fucking game if everything was fine. I'm sorry, in what universe are you living? In what universe do you look at everything that Blizzard is doing now and go, wow, all those people that were fucking complaining in Shadowlands, yeah, they were just complaining for the sake of complaining. The game was doing fine. If the game was doing fine, Ian and the team would have kept doing what they were doing in Shadowlands because it was working. Why would you change something that's working? The reason we got Legion in the first place, the reason Blizzard changed their philosophy, is because it became harder and harder to actually make the game. Because the systems kept building up on top of one another, and it was just more and more difficult to actually maintain the power balances within World of Warcraft. So it was clearly not working for them, and they thought, something new. We need to get something new going, and that's where Legion was born. Why did they give up on that? If it worked, they wouldn't have. So, no. Shadowlands and BFA, I think we can now state with absolute certainty, was a miserable failure. And this is why Blizzard is now going sort of above and beyond to fix what was wrong there. And I, for one, fucking love that. I love the fact that Blizzard is doing that. Because I think the game needs it. And